Hello, folks. Oh, man. What a crazy week. Here we are on Thundering Thursday. Now, last week we had a huge crowd, and I told James off air, I said, maybe tonight it'll just be you and I. You never know who's going to show up. We had Nina Yordi last week and all kind of people. But if they want to join, let us know. But welcome to Thundering Thursday from New Jersey.
Welcome, and it's a good thing that the governor of New Jersey and the governor Andrew Cuomo of New York are saying that the numbers are going down in both states.
Yeah, I knew it was on a decline. I could tell the last month.
Yeah, and Governor Phil Murphy. Hey, Greg, Governor Phil Murphy opened up the beaches and the county and state parks as long as people respect social distancing. And I guess, I don't know if masks are optional or mandatory. That I don't know. But, you know, I wear it anyway because I get mortified by some of these Facebook videos that I see.
Probably people like me. No,
yeah, not you. I'm talking about people in a hospital. That mortified.
But see, outside right now, it's sunny. There's not a cloud in the sky. That's what you want to be at. Out in the sun. We have low humidity right now. It's dry. It's like April weather in May.
Did you know what helped the Spanish flu pandemic? And it didn't even really come from Spain.
Right.
When they started keeping patients, I think it was 1918, when they started keeping patients outdoors under like tents or awnings, when they got fresh air from outdoors, they saw a huge improvement in the patients during the Spanish flu.
Yes, I felt better when I had the flu so bad 24 years ago. I felt so bad, but when I was out in the sun, it would make me feel better.
Okay, you're the man of the hour because you have a taste challenge.
Yes. Now, the funny thing about the Spanish flu, I've been reading some alternative media about that.
Right.
And some of the people have traced it back to a U.S. Chemical weapons laboratory in Kansas, Army base in Kansas in 1918. So it makes you wonder about it anyway.
They also mentioned some Chinese workers that were imported from China that were, it was after World War I, but, there's different theories on it.
Right, and you can't say too much because then your video gets killed. All right.
Yeah, we have new rules now. It's called destruction. It's called anti-First Amendment social media rules.
Right.
Yeah, they all doing it now. Now Zuckerberg is on the kick. I posted his article on my Facebook page, and YouTube has been doing it.
Yeah.
Twitter's doing it.
So now that we live in Maoist China during the Great Cultural Revolution, when I was a little kid, that was going on. Now it's going on again. All right. Anyway, I remember the Cultural Revolution, and I remember in the Cub Scouts, some guy, I don't know how he did it. He went on a trip to China in 1975, 76. And he came back and showed us his slides. Remember, people used to show slides?
Oh, the other slides.
And the country was so primitive. It was unbelievable. Anyway, that was 44 years ago. But
but they didn't have to worry about fashion and what I'm going to wear today or tomorrow.
No, because they all wore those Mao work outfits.
The olive drab green, right?
Yeah, or that navy blue, that cobalt blue. But anyway, depending on, I don't know how they schedule that. What's up? Hey, Miscellaneous Magnets. Well, I'll tell y'all what's up. We're doing drinking. Well, James can't drink right now. He's drinking water, but he'll be back in the swing of it. We hope soon. But
if life ever goes back to normal again, sure.
So I have to.
Magnets. The power in the magnet is called Gauss. It's measured by the word Gauss, which is probably a German word. But they have industrial magnets, not maggots, like when the corpse is like that. They have magnets that are so strong, industrial, that it's a workout trying to move it or pull it off. I mean, you have to like play tug of war.
Oh yeah, I've had magnets I could not separate.
Yeah, that's it. High, and they were used in therapy hundreds of years ago, because I think it attracts the iron in the blood cells, which brings circulation to the afflicted area. So, being that the guy's last name was Magnets, I just thought I'd do a little magnet talk.
Right. You have a magnetic personality, so. I had a friend back around 1975. We were little kids, and his grandmother and them, I think, had a Zenith television, beautiful color television, and those magnets that you can't pull apart. He decided to put them up against the TV screen. Well, that was the end of that. Okay, no more TV screen.
That was the first color TV my relatives ever had. My aunt and uncle, John and Barbara, got a Zenith. That was the first. And I was mesmerized. I go, turn up the color. Look at all the color.
All the color in that TV was sucked into the corner where he had placed a magnet for the rest.
And you know what I was watching when I walked into his house? The wonder. What do they call that show? The Wonderful World of Disney on Sunday.
Oh yeah, I used to hate that. It was so boring.
Yeah, it was boring. I'd rather watch, the Monkeys and Dark Shadows and what's that other show?
Here's a comment. Look, real fast before I start my challenge.
Wow, 2,100-pound pull. They make them that strong. That'll pull all your blood. That would probably pool if you put it on if you sprain your ankle. It would pool all your blood into your ankle. Oh, there he is, the comic book man, right?
Man, right. He likes me to talk about Jack Kirby and comic books and all of that. Fourth World.
Toho Productions, that made the Godzilla movies. Actually, they have their own comic book, but they show pictures of the monsters with the comics. But they show all of them, Rodan, Mothra. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Anyway, continue with your taste challenge.
I know they had a licensed comic book. All right, let's see. Cheers, folks. So I'll put the link, y'all. I'll put the link, whoever wants to join, if anyone. Hello, Ezra Brooks. I saw that the other day. I should have bought some. All right, well, here we go. I bought some whiskey today, y'all. I couldn't help it. I broke down. I had a mental breakdown. I bought something called Old Overholt Rye Whiskey. Kentucky straight rye whiskey. Goes back to 1810. It was originated in Pennsylvania, but it's made in Kentucky now. It's a straight rye whiskey, but that's another story for another day. So
one of my favorite sounds.
No, I don't think so. And man, because Mike's hard lemonade is an entrenched product, the Bud Light lemonade is sort of like a specialty. I don't think it's going to be around too long, but I could be wrong. Now here we have Bellows Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. This is a very old company. It was started in 1830.
Dr. Bellows from the I Dream of Jeannie show.
Well, not exactly, but okay. Yeah, now Bellows, the old labels used to have a housefly on it instead of a B. WB, William Bellows. They used to have a housefly, but maybe.
Housefly.
Yeah, I got a bottle in the cabinet. Maybe they decided that a housefly wasn't the best selling point.
I wouldn't want to have dinner at his house.
But that's what they used to have on.
I wouldn't want to have dinner at that guy's house. Old flies.
Now it's a yellow and white background. It's like an old Kentucky distillery scene that you can't make out.
Shoot fly by.
It's just yellow and white, but there is an old scene on the background.
Well, B for Bellows goes more with a bee than a damn housefly.
Right. I couldn't understand why they didn't have a bee, but it was clearly not a bee, but a housefly. But anyway, Bellows and Company, but the company was bought out, and now it's bottled in St. Louis, Missouri by Luxco. Luxco is a family-owned company, and the name of the family is Lux. So the Luxco, get it? Luxco. Now, but anyway, this is a 4-year age straight bourbon. I bought this liter bottle now. You know you like to get good deals too. I bought this liter bottle for $5.99.
Oh, okay. This guy is the educated consumer in fermented beverages, bar none. Bar none. Hey, bar, no pun intended, bar none.
Yeah, I bought this at Savannah Discount on Louisiana Highway 45 in Marrero, Louisiana. And the guy said, "You want this?" And I said, "Oh, I have it already." I thought he was talking about the blended whiskey. And then I looked later and I said, "Bourbon." I said, "Bourbon." I went and asked him, I said, "Hey, can you run a price check for me?" He said, "I'll do what you want, boss." So he scanned it and he said, $5.99. I said, "I'll take it." So,
yes, because he knows you, because you've been in there so many times.
yes. Now, reading before we came on air, that's one reason we were a few minutes late. I was reading about a New Jersey company. They claim they're the oldest distillery in America. They're called Laird's, and they've been making Applejack brandy since the 1750s. They even have a letter that George Washington wrote them asking for to send him some Applejack brandy. It's called Laird's and Company. It's family owned. It's in New Jersey.
I know. I didn't know I did not know they were in New Jersey, but as a child, I used to see them running their commercials. Laird's, I believe.
Yeah, Laird's. It's New Jersey. Yeah, that's right.
Laird's Applejack, and the homemade way of making Applejack, I believe, is they would take real apple cider, not that pasteurized apple juice you find in the store, and they would put it take the wood barrel of apple cider and leave it out. In New England, they would leave it out by a tree somewhere and let the temperature drop. In the days when winters were harsh, and they used to get fresh maple. The sugar maple sap used to run really nice after they put a tap in it. Anyway, the Applejack, long story short, gravitated to the surface of the barrel. And that is how they made their apple, which is brandy. It's like an apple brandy.
Right. And what they said on the website is that they sell the most apple brandy in America. They said that they used to have farms in New Jersey, but New Jersey got so industrialized that all the farms were gone. So they only get their apples from a huge orchard in Virginia that they own today by the Shenandoah Valley. So that's what
New York State grows many apples. And you have many indigenous New York State apples too, like Empires, and there's Cortlands. There's many, of course, McIntosh, everybody knows. Granny, yeah.
But Laird's get theirs from their farm in Virginia.
They have their own orchard in Virginia.
Yeah, that they've had for the longest time. Well, here's Cooper's Craft, the competitor. There's no age statement, so I don't know how old it is, but it's at least 4 years old. It's only been on the market for 4 years. It's a new one, not an old one like the other. Now, the Cooper's Craft business has been around since 1945. What they do in Louisville is they make barrels. They make whiskey barrels. That's why they call it Cooper's Craft. So they make whiskey barrels in Louisville. But 4 years ago, in honor of that, they started making bourbon. This is 82.2 proof. The other one is 80 proof. So this is from Brown-Forman, the company that owns Jack Daniels. It's a family-owned company as well. I tried it on a solo review. I'm going to post that, I think, Saturday morning, y'all, so I don't have it posted yet. I wasn't thrilled with it, but I didn't hate it either. Anyway, it's aged in barrels, but it's filtered, oak barrels, but it's filtered through beech and birch charcoals. So they have a combination of two charcoals, beech and birch.
Beech and birch. I like the way that sounds.
Beech and birch.
Beech and birch.
I'm going to beat you, and when I'm finished, I'm going to birch you. Okay.
Or I'm going to birch you. If you could tell if the child is acting up and being a brat, and then the child starts to burp, you can say, "Here, let me birch you, my darling son." And then you take a birch switch out for spanking. You take a piece of birch and then you birch them.
Right.
Right.
That's what you do. Now, here is, I'm going to highlight myself for a moment, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
I'm getting thirsty. All right. Now, here are the two bourbons, Kentucky Straight Bourbon. You'll notice that this one in my left hand, might be to your right, is gold. It's a little lighter. And the one in my right hand to your left is darker, amber. So one is much, or a good deal darker, more amber, or we'll say like orange, copper, and then this one is more gold, like jewelry, gold. So I think the gold one is the bellows. Let me check. It is. So I'm going to have to be careful not to look because that'll be a dead giveaway. Another thing that's going to give it away is one is 40% alcohol and the other one is 41.5% alcohol, 41.5% alcohol. Kind of a strange thing there, but that's what they rated at. Yeah.
You either close your eyes or look at the wall or something.
I'm just looking out the window at the beautiful weather. It started becoming daylight this morning about 5:20 a.m. So now we're getting into the long days of the year up until the summer solstice.
Isn't it funny the summer solstice, first day of summer is the longest day of
the year, yeah.
Isn't it peculiar?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Taste away.
So the days are getting longer. All right. So I'm going to update the comments, folks, if anybody makes them.
Yeah, I'm surprised there's no booze guest yet.
Yeah, I thought people might join. Like we had a crowded house last Thursday, but you never know what's going to happen, you know.
Yeah.
We told Nina, come on and join anytime. Okay.
And the regulars, of course.
With what?
And the regulars, of course.
And the regulars, yes. People say, I'm busy right now. I'm at home hanging around my house. All right.
Brushing my teeth, yeah.
I'm out walking a dinosaur. All right, anyway.
Yeah. Wacka Wacka Dude. That was a funny song, the dinosaur song. Okay.
This one smells like pretty sharp, straight bourbon whiskey. Oh, price. The Cooper's Craft is normally $23 a bottle. Okay. Normal price, $23 a bottle.
Yikes.
But I was at Mathern's and they had a special, $9.99. I'll repeat that, $9.99. Yes, I bought it. For over half price, for over half off. Over 50% discount. So I don't pass up those kind of deals. Sorry.
And you're also very good for your local liquor stores. You give them word of mouth, a free advertisement.
Right. That's right. And some people watch and they go there and they tell them too. Okay, this one smells very good. It's like deep corn, charred oak. You can even smell like the wood underneath the char. It's really strange. It's like all this wood. It's almost like old furniture, but you know it's not furniture. Some nectar from like a honeysuckle or some other kind of plant, and dried fruit that you put in a fruit cake. Well, that's elaborate. I like it. Now let's go over here, and I'm not going to go too much longer, so bear with me. All right, this one's much lighter in the nose. So right off the bat here, I think this is the Bellows. I have 3 different Bellows whiskeys in my cabinet. Okay. This is very, very standard. And I'm not saying bad. I don't want this to be misinterpreted. It's just basic. You get a little wood, a little corn, slight charred oak. Oh, and by the way, folks, James picked bourbon tonight. I said, do you want me to taste challenge rum or bourbon? He said bourbon.
Well, I did it for a reason, because you've been doing a lot of rum challenges.
See?
That's what it's
Next Thursday I could do rum. Okay. Or Friday. But it'd probably be Thursday because the Knights of Columbus been selling dinners every Friday night like mad.
Wow.
Like madness. People lined up down the street in cars.
And I bet their kitchen is big and well equipped.
It's not that big, but it's well equipped.
Okay.
You'd love the oven and you'd love that stove. All right, taste time. Cheers to the viewers. And I'm going to update the comments, I promise.
Gee, since you're the only one with booze in your hands, this could be a Dawn Busters.
Could be like I did this morning, yeah. I did rum this morning too, by the way. Well, when I did a solo review of Cooper's Craft, I thought it had a strange bitter flavor. And I said, why would it taste bitter? Whiskey's not bitter. I couldn't understand it. I said, maybe it's the beech and birch.
Could be beech and birch. I know Angostura bitters is bitter, but yeah, beech and could be the combination of those two woods.
Yeah, so but I wanted to check myself before I wrecked myself. So I checked on some liquor review sites where people write written reviews. And more than one, it was 2 or 3 people commented, just like me. They said, and these were written long before I did mine. Now I could have cheated and gone look, but I didn't look. I never read the reviews till I do mine. And they were saying the same thing. Bitter, strange. It's got a strange bitterness. I say, oh, okay. I wasn't off track. All right. So I think that's the Cooper's Craft. But let's go to the whatever this is, which I think is Bellows. See if anybody's in the basement. No.
Nope.
Okay. Well, now I'm a little nervous. I'm very nervous. I'm going to go back to the full screen to not neglect you, but I'm getting kind of scared. Well, this is what's got me disconcerted. This is the one that tastes much more bitter. I'm tasting it on my tongue. It's on the sides of my mouth. This thing is just bitter.
I'm going to take a wild guess and say it's whatever product has the beech and the birch in it.
Cooper's Craft. Well, I put on the bottom of the glass, I put a CC, obviously Cooper's Craft, in the label. So this is the Cooper's Craft. And that thing, when I was sitting in my backyard, sometimes I do videos sitting in my backyard. I said, I can't. And then when I did my video, a spider fell in the whiskey. When I did the first video, I reached back and the glass hit the azalea bush. Well, I didn't think anything of that. I said, whoops. But a spider fell in it. I didn't realize. So when I was doing the video, I looked down. And then I looked again and I said, there's a spider at the bottom of the glass. And it seemed to not be doing too well. It looked like a banana spider. And I said, oh, I'm not drinking this with a spider in it. So I had to sling it out in the grass, hoping that the spider would survive.
Well, there's no contamination because of the alcohol, but a spider falling into the hard apple cider might not be bad because they rhyme. But the banana spiders are actually attractive, but not in your,
black, gold, and red highlights.
Yeah, but not what did my grandfather call them? Merry widows, black widows, and brown recluse. Those are not comical spiders at all.
No, you wouldn't find those on an azalea bush. They usually be under the house in a cold, dry, dark place. All right, now here we go. I'm gonna end it, folks. I promise. All right. That's got to be the strangest bourbon I've ever tasted. That's oddly bitter and it's harshly bitter. But but you know how I am. Well, maybe you don't know how I am. If I hate something and I talk about it and I can't get over it and I go on, eventually in a month I'll like it. You know what I'm saying? Everything I hate, I end up liking because it's almost like it shocked me. I can't deal with it.
That's probably why the Hawaiians love Spam so much. They probably hated it at the beginning, and then they decided to love it.
Right. Could be. And they get a lot of varieties we can't get here.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about Spam, but anyway.
Yeah, spiced ham. They have some Hawaii only varieties.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
Oh yeah, many varieties that we cannot get in the rest of the United States. They get it in Hawaii, like a coconut flavored, and I don't know.
Oh gosh, coconut
flavored. Yeah, you could look on the Hormel website, but they'll say Hawaii only, and I say, oh.
Yeah.
There's a guy I work with named Pablo from Managua, Nicaragua. He said, "Man, down in Nicaragua, Spam is like $25 a can." He said, "Yeah." He said, "Only rich people." He said, "Only rich people eat that down there." I said, oh, "Okay."
Over here, it's garbage, processed mystery meat. That's amazing.
Not in Nicaragua, buddy boy. All right, now, okay. This is going to be shocking. But I think the Bellows has a milder, nicer, sweeter, mellow corn flavor, more sugar. Boy, I hate to say this on the air because people are going to come at me and say, "You're so dumb. You don't know whiskey." Well, I'm sorry. I'm telling you what I taste. Cooper's Craft. I like it. It's got a deep, I don't want to say harsh, let's say bold charcoal intensity. This thing is charcoal, and it's got a higher proof, so you feel it in the corn. But I don't know, I just can't get my mind around the bitterness. But I like it, and I think I'm going to have fun challenging it with other bourbons I have. So I gave it an 85 in my backyard. I think I would go higher now, but I'm not sure. But I'm going to give the win to the Bellows because maybe I'm weak and I prefer milder tasting products. I'll be the first to admit that. But so I'm going to say Bellows is the winner, and I know it's the Bellows because look at that gold color. And there's the Cooper's Craft, and you can see with that whatever's left of the amber. So let me look.
Now
I got it right. Oh well, the aroma got me thrown off, but the taste was indisputable, boy.
Now, which one was the bitter one?
The Cooper's Craft.
Oh,
that's the one that I thought was bitter when I was in my backyard. And when I was sitting in my backyard, I said, "I bet you that's going to be the telltale road sign when I do the taste challenges. I'm going to get it right every time because it's going to be that unmistakable bitterness."
Is that the one with the beech and birch? Or no?
Yes.
Oh, it is. Oh, I was right. I was right. Let me put on the Mardi Gras happy mask. I was right. Beech and birch.
See?
All right. Very good. And you know what I'm a fan of? Corned beef hash with fried eggs, a slice of whole grain toast, and real orange juice. A corned beef hash. I've always loved corned beef hash. I know
I'm a drug addict on that.
Oh, you mean you eat a lot of it?
Oh, eggs. Sometimes I'll scramble the eggs. Sometimes I'll make an omelet. Sometimes I'll fry them. Put the corned beef hash, some hot sauce from Mexico, black pepper, some diced onions, and I fry it on a thin sheen of extra virgin olive oil.
Do you melt? Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking of the wrong item because Mr. Owens despises hominy grits, but he's going to do a review of hominy grits for me. He's going to do it for me. I like melted cheese in hominy grits.
I had grits this morning, Quaker grits this morning. But yeah, and then I'll put some cheese and I'll fold the eggs on top of the cheese and let the cheese melt like pepper jack or something like that. Oh, that's a good breakfast. Okay.
Yeah. I get the Whole Foods organic non-GMO polenta, which is a fancy
grits.
Yeah, they're grits.
Hey, now let's look at some comments.
Well, you know what? It's been a cold spring, and the daffodils and tulips have been taking a beating. Fart doctor, this is what I've been waiting for. Yeah, some new bourbons. All right, some new bourbons, and
but you're getting cold weather, but we're just getting cool weather, you know.
yeah, we're getting like in the 40s and low 50s.
Yeah, sorry, Craig.
But Sunday was 80. Sunday was 80 degrees last Sunday.
80. You know what it was Tuesday here? 88 and extremely humid. I was sweating, but I didn't turn the AC on, but I was sweating, boy. Ooh.
You had every region around the Gulf of Mexico will be humid. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Florida Panhandle, Mobile, Alabama.
I think we have the worst humidity because we're in that basin, you know, the Mississippi River basin. So it's like a bowl and all that. The only place I've been to in the United States that had as bad a humidity as us is Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is in a basin also. And boy, it's so hot and humid in the summer in that place. Oh,
Washington, which is near Northern Virginia, has the Chesapeake Bay nearby, and the Potomac River is nearby.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, Pastor Don. When I went to Washington, D.C., I noticed, you know what was the most interesting thing I saw? Not a monument, not a government building, although I did like seeing those.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing I saw was a floating seafood market on the river, back behind the government buildings. It's a seafood market, and it's on the river. It used to be on land, but the district outlawed the seafood market and said you can't be on land. So they put it on pontoon boats in the river, and it's huge, and you can walk on the piers out into the water. And it's restaurants, floating seafood markets.
So they're huge catamarans.
Look it up on Google. You'll be amazed. If you look it up on Google, you'll be amazed. Fresh seafood from the Chesapeake Bay and the river areas of Maryland and Virginia. It's unbelievable.
Because the Chesapeake that's close to Virginia is I don't want to say pristine because it used to be, but they got good fishing down where the Chesapeake starts to get close to the Atlantic Ocean. They got really, really good fishing. My late uncle took me on his cabin cruiser, and we caught weak fish, a lot of blues, striped bass. We caught a lot of good fish there, and there's tons of crabs, and there's tons of oysters.
Yeah, and if you ever go, so folks, if you ever go to Washington, D.C., call me up privately. I'll tell you where you can park for free. It's a lie that you can't park for free. That's a common misconception. Secondly, I'll tell you where the seafood market is. You'll be shocked. And another interesting thing in D.C., and I love seafood too, like you're talking about, Jane. Another thing in D.C. is the Chinatown. A lot of people don't realize Chinatown.
I didn't know they had a Chinatown.
Yeah, and it's real good Chinese food.
And you're not that far from Camden Yards either.
No, 30 miles. Kevin Johnston says rum is a mixer. Well, yeah, but I can taste them one from the other. I did a rum taste challenge this morning, Kevin, and I could tell them.
Oh, without a doubt, you could taste differences.
I caught it right off the bat.
And you know what? If you have
all kinds of stuff there.
If you have a dark spice rum or an aged añejo that's been aged for a long time, you don't want to mix that. It's like drinking Johnny Walker Blue with
no, you don't do that. Yeah,
with something. You don't do that. You don't even put ice in Johnny Walker Blue.
That is an incredible whiskey. I have been enjoying that thing. Every taste challenge I've done with Johnny Walker Blue Label, the Blue Label absolutely destroys it. But it better for $200.
Yeah.
Now here's a question for you, especially.
Okay. I think Vince is showing signs of financial trouble if he's having his pay-per-view event at the WWE main headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut, it's right on I-95. He's having the ring on the roof. And the money in the bank was created by Chris Jericho. And it's a ladder match, which is very dangerous because you can fall on the ladder or get hit by the ladder. But when there's no people, there's no bodies in the seats at all these professional wrestling events, there's no people buying tickets, what is he going to do? He's going to spend money on a venue and have the ring shipped by tractor trailer and have all the pyro and the lights and the ring set up, and for what? For no fans in the stadium. So in one way, I actually think he's doing a great job. What he should do, well, I'm not a fan of Vince McMahon's by no stretch of the imagination, but he should get a building that's very close to the main office in Stamford, Connecticut, and do his Monday night Raw and his his Friday night SmackDowns near the main office in his own building, and do it that way, because it doesn't pay to be traveling the country if no one is allowed in the arena. I mean, it's common sense. Jay knows what I'm talking about. It's like, you know, from a business point of view, it's stupid. Why? You have no bodies in the seats.
May as well be in the studio.
You might as well. The spider would make it bitter. Now, Pastor Don, what did you think of? I don't know if you saw it, but when I read 2 Timothy during Good Friday, I said that it explains very well how people will become in the end times. 2 Timothy. I just was wondering what your thought was on 2 Timothy. If you thought if that was a good interpretation or a lousy one, or this is my favorite Louisiana beer review co-host. Well, I think he's the only one in Louisiana.
We're talking about you.
This is my favorite Louisiana beer review co-host. He's the only one I know.
No, he's talking about you. He's saying you're his favorite.
Oh, I'm your favorite
co-host.
I don't know shit from Shinola. I just go when I bring boo. Listen, if I brought a shot of something, I don't think it's going to kill me with the medication I'm on. I'm not on that kind of medication. So maybe there's hope. But thank you for the compliment, for the kind words. I just bring a gimmick, you know, humor, bells and whistles, and other props. You know, I'm like Ed McMahon was to Johnny Carson with Ronald J. Theriot. I'm not the expert. You know who the expert is when he comes on is the Whiskey Scout.
Yeah, right.
I respect the Whiskey Scout. For craft beer, I like Eric Fraunfelter and the Metal Thrasher.
Yeah, thrash metal, homebrew, and barbecue. Yeah,
thrash metal. Yeah, that's too long for me to remember. I just call him Thrash, Thrashy Baby, and Eric Fraunfelter, which is Thomas Metal 75. I also like Shane Fudge. I get a good vibration from him. I get a good feeling about the man, and he seems very knowledgeable. Also, John Anilli, very knowledgeable. He does fantastic reviews. Can't forget John Anilli. That's it. That's the Murderer's Row. Like, you know, it was the 1927 Yankees, the Murderer's Row. Yeah, and him, and this guy that you're looking at now, him.
Thank you.
Ronald Theriot.
Inman, I have not read Batgirl Year One. I don't have any Batgirl comic books.
Loudest it's been yet.
I'm gonna tell you something about the Kansas City Southern Railroad.
I have one thing to say about it.
They lay down on that horn. They just bear down on. They are so loud. But another thing, there are ordinances about the speed they can have through a town. There's no way they're going at the right speed through this town. They fly through this town. I mean, they zip through here. You won't get held up too long. You won't get held up too long by these trains, but you'll have no chance if you get hit by it. They're flying. There's no way they're going through this town at the right speed. They are just zipping on through, boy. That's why they're laying down on that horn, because they're letting you know, here we come. You got no chance if you run.
Right, you got no chance at all. If you're a damsel in distress tied to the train tracks, you don't have a snowball's chance in hell.
Right, because they fly through it. Look how fast the train left.
I know. Now, oh, thank you, Greg Swenson. You know, when I used to drive before my car was lost in a deep flood, when I used to drive on I-95, the New Jersey Turnpike, all the state troopers would whiz by me, and I was doing 65, 70 miles an hour, and they were in the fast lane going like the freaking Roadrunner in a cartoon. And I'm like, they're the cops. And look at them. Whizzing by like that.
Yeah, they don't get tickets.
Yeah, my friend Shirley Chen of Shanghai, China, who tells me every day that absolutely everything's back to normal in the Asian countries, and she means everything. She told me she bought a big bag of cleaned, cooked, and frozen crawdads without the shell. So I was trying to explain to her, like Desi Arnaz used to say. I said, Shirley, let me explain something. When a crustacean grows, it molts. It could be any crustacean, crab, whatever. You have to take that soft crustacean right away and put it on ice and kill it. And that's how you get a soft shell crab sandwich, which is awesome. Now, yeah, they'll fall off the roof trying to jump for the suitcase. Yeah, they're gonna go. That's how Vince is gonna get rid of some of the older, higher paid stars. That's why the ring is on the roof. But anyway, as soon as you put the soft shell, the molted crustacean, to put it in a more scientific way, put it on ice, kill it. Now you can eat the whole thing. She goes, really? I says, you know, crawfish get big. You know, crawfish are all over the world, Australia, everywhere. They're in the northern hemisphere, in the tropics, in the southern hemisphere. It doesn't matter. The Louisiana ones they're attractive because they're that pretty red, you know, with little black markings in them.
Yeah, red. Yeah.
Yeah, but when they molt, but you have to know when a crawfish is about to molt. You have to look at them. There's a certain telltale sign. Like a commercial crabber told me, you look at the back fin of a blue crab, and he told me the joint that goes into the body of the crab turns like a purplish color. Favorite champion of all time has to be between Nature Boy Buddy Rogers and Bruno. But there were better wrestlers in the old days, like Lou Thez, Strangler Lewis, you know, like the guys that could wrestle for an hour and they could tie you up in a knot in a submission hold like that. But there's only one problem. The fans got bored watching a scientific match for like an hour. The fans want to see theatrics. And that's why it changed. Gorgeous George. By the way, his robes came from Bob Hope. In reality, Bob Hope gave him, Gorgeous George Wagner, the gimmick of wearing those robes. And they came from Bob Hope. So anyway, I don't want to digress off the theme of the show. But
no, just finish telling us about so the soft shell is good to eat.
The soft shell crab, all you have to do is turn it upside down, because I've done it a million times. You peel the chest cavity open because it's soft. You take the lungs out. Yeah. It kind of reminds you of this pandemic. You take the lungs out. You take, there's fat. If it's a female crab, you save the fat in the middle for soup because it gives a good broth, a good flavoring to crab soup. Then after the lungs are out, you're done. You dip it in egg, seasoned flour, or cornmeal. You can put some Old Bay seasoning, but there's too much salt in Old Bay. I like the Louisiana and the Indian curries. I like the Cajun or the Indian masalas. Mix that with the cornmeal and flour, and deep fry it or pan fry it.
Then you got it.
And you got it. That's your soft shell. Soft shell anything. You can do it to a big crawfish. I don't see why not. Yeah, Chicago was Vern Gagne's American Wrestling Association. He had that region, Minnesota, Wisconsin. He was out of Minneapolis, St. Paul, and then Chicago, their arena was part of his territory. The territory days. The Cow Palace was San Francisco territory. Then you had Portland, Oregon, had theirs. You had the famous Olympic Auditorium in Los Angeles was in National Wrestling Alliance franchise owned by Gene LaBelle's mother. And now it is a Korean church to this day.
Wow. Here's a comment.
Yeah. Ric Flair, the rascal, you know how he won a lot of his titles? Because of the Four Horsemen used to interfere. He always had outside interference. I know. I watched, what was it? Turner Broadcasting every Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
I watched Florida Championship Wrestling. I watched Georgia NW. I watched Jim Crockett Promotions in Charlotte, North Carolina. I watched the Von Erichs. I watched all the Kung Fu movies every Saturday afternoon as a kid. All those great Kung Fu movies, you know. Jet Li, the guy with the white hair and the beard. Yeah, all of them. That brings back memories. Then I used to watch Bill Dance, big bass.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
Competitive bass fisherman. Bill Dance. Yeah, Bill Dance was funny. I bought some Bill. No, Mark Sosin too. He was the saltwater guru. I bought some Mark Sosin lures that cost me $8 each. I went to the Florida Keys and I caught nothing off of them for $8 a pop. And you know what caught fish? A cheap 75-cent jig.
Huh. No,
Yep.
I don't watch Phil Robinson, but I'm aware of who that is. I've never watched that show, but I know he's.
Phil Robinson is a fisherman or a wrestler?
Well, I think he did Duck Dynasty.
Now I'm getting hungry. Well, let's talk about animals being prepared for food. Bumpy Road, the bearded one. Oh, that's a very clever avatar, by the way. Yeah, Bumpy Road is a hell of a nice guy. You know, I went over a bunch of them. Yeah, actually Bumpy Road is more of a regular than some of them. Yvonne Craig, what a succulent young lady she was.
Oh yeah, that was
Girl. 50.
Yeah, this viewer lives east of me on the track, right on the track. So.
Well, does it go by when you're trying to sleep?
Oh, all during the night, 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning.
So that means your home kind of vibrates.
Yeah.
But
I've got 3 houses between me and the track.
Speaking of your house, how are your kumquats or loquats doing?
Well, they're all gone now, of course.
They're one of those quats.
Yeah, the loquats, they're all gone. I mean, they make their run and then they dry up and they're gone. You know.
Yes, Ric Flair is a total package as far as being great on a microphone. Well, outstanding on the microphone. He had the gimmick. He had the physical ability, talent. He was trained by Vern Gagne up in Minnesota. Ric Flair quit many times. He was a college football player, and I heard he was going to even quit that. He was overweight. Vern Gagne got him into shape. He owes everything to Vern Gagne. Roddy Piper, fantastic in all ways. Another one. Did you know that Roddy Piper was molested by the gay Pat Patterson in the Portland, Oregon pro wrestling territory? No, it was either the Olympic Auditorium in Los Angeles or Portland, Oregon. Piper started in Portland, but on the West Coast, Pat Patterson used to harass him, sexual harassment, because he's gay. And him and this other announcer were well known for harassing a lot of people, and Vince just turned the other cheek. Yeah, Bruno, the Bruno story is like miraculous. He almost died during World War II on a mountain in Italy of I think, rheumatic fever. He was in the snow. He was eating snow. He was skinny as a rail, soaking wet, skinny as a rail when he came to Pittsburgh because his father was a smelter. He worked in the steel mills. It's Pittsburgh. So Bruno, some Jewish kids felt sorry for him because he was always picked on and beat up after school. Or he was always picked on because of his language barrier. So they brought him to the YMCA. They taught him how to work out with weights. He went from a stick all the way up to a world championship caliber powerlifter. I think 1958 or something. He won a world title. Yeah, you got blue crabs in Louisiana and the what is that? The Delta, the
River Delta, yeah,
where the Mississippi meets the. I never met Ric Flair, but I'll tell you a lot of the ones I did, but another time. But yeah, where the Mississippi meets the Gulf of Mexico. That's probably where the blue crabs congregate.
Hold on a second. Inman, it's okay. What they've had the last 9 years is so-so. I don't care for it, but it's all right. Okay. I'm sorry, James.
Yeah. So, but it's a whole talk show unto itself. It's a very hard life. Ric Flair, even the legends. It's a hard life. You don't have any health benefits. You travel a lot. You get injured often. You have to find a place to work out. Sometimes they slept in rent-a-cars and they carpooled it back in the day. Well, they still do. Nick Bockwinkel. Now, the thing with Nick Bockwinkel, for some reason, Vern Gagne kept the AWA world title on him when he got older. If he would have made Nick Bockwinkel drop the title and give it to the young, just starting out Hulk Hogan, that might have been a financial smart move for Vern Gagne, who was a catch wrestler like Billy Robinson. Catch can is like Brazilian jiu-jitsu, where they really know how to make moves on it. But yeah,
check this out. I went to get some water and put the liquor bottles up, and there's a big rabbit in my backyard eating grass.
Oh, we got tons. I had at my house in Lodi, New Jersey, we had tons of rabbits, and then when the hawks, the red-tailed hawks started building nests, they sort of like vanished for a bit until the hawks decided we don't like this town anymore. Then the rabbits came back.
Sorry to bother you. All right. I mean, sorry to interrupt you. Okay. Here's another comment.
Virgil, Ted DiBiase's sidekick. He had it rough. Yeah, Bill Dance Outdoors. That's right. Yeah, freshwater fishing expert. Yeah, Mark Sosin was saltwater, but he had his signature on it, which meant nothing. I'm sure the fish could care less. Yes, he did. You know, Nature Boy Buddy Rogers was a cop in Camden, New Jersey, back when Camden was a nice town, suburb of Philadelphia. And his house was in that area, Cherry Hill. Actually, Nature Boy Buddy Rogers lived right next to Superfly Jimmy Snuka, who I spent a great deal of time with. We went to lunch buffets, ate sushi, we all hung out. But yeah, Buddy Rogers was a cop in Camden. He had a natural, great physique, and he had a great gimmick. And that's true. They live. I remember that. He had long hair. Yeah, Buddy Rogers. Roddy Piper had a black belt in judo. He was taught by Gene LaBelle. He's Canadian. Last name is Coombs, and he's from the agricultural. I don't know, Saskatchewan or Manitoba. He's he's from around there. Roddy Piper, and he had a very troubled life. And as you can see when he was wrestling, remember Abdullah the Butcher? John Shreves. Yeah, he was from, I think, northern Wisconsin. No, he was from Ontario, Canada, and then right near the border of the U.S. Yeah, well, you know what the problem is, Craig? There's a lot of shows I can do. This is the problem. StreamYard, that pencil neck geek, like Freddie Blassie, God rest his soul. StreamYard only allows us 20 hours of free broadcasting. All of us. Me, Ronald Terrio, Eric Fraunfelter, it doesn't matter. We have 20 hours. So you'll be surprised how fast 20 hours gets used up. And it goes fast. And I always get the email that says,
you're about to use up your minutes. Yeah.
Oh, no, first they give me this lecture. James, you're one of our best streamers. Wow, you're almost to your limit. We think you would do better with the professional version. Hey, you geek that runs StreamYard, I got an itch right in the middle of my forehead. You think I'm gonna spend money shooting the shit, shooting the breeze like this, and I gotta pay him? I rather consolidate and use my 20 hours wisely. But I definitely, if I can get one or two good co-hosts that are wrestling fanatic fans, I would seriously consider doing one. No, if I listen, forget about the black and white cat. You come on, at least one person. Come on. You don't have to come on with your video if you're shy. Come on with an avatar. Like, for instance, N-Man 40. Use your avatar. You got that vaudevillian, that real cool photo there, like you're from vaudeville, you know? And just, we'll put you on with audio. No problem. We'll tell the other guys that love wrestling to come on and do commentary, and then I'll flash what they say, on the screen. That's all.
Now look at this comment. Before we get off the air, I got to get off the air.
Okay, it has Virgil went into Vince's office in late 1991 or early 1992 and asked to be pushed more, and that killed his career because Vince is a power obsessed freak. He's on a power trip. You notice that every wrestling star that comes from the NWA, when they go to his promotion, he changes their gimmick and he changes their name. He changes everything. Their theme song. The Undertaker is Mark Calloway. He was originally down south in the NWA. Oh yeah, well, the guy was never avenged. Bruiser Brody's murder was never avenged, and I feel really bad about that. Bruiser Brody tag teaming with Stan Hansen. Stan the Lariat Hansen was from Borger, Texas. He was great. One of the greatest cowboy wrestlers ever. Fritz von Erich, the Iron Claw. But, you know, like I said before, this is a whole talk show unto itself. But Jesse Ventura admired superstar Billy Graham, who was, to be honest with you, he was one of the greatest all-round wrestler. Well, he wasn't great in the ring as far as wrestling skills, but his gimmick was probably second to none on the microphone. And Jesse Ventura copied him. Now, what happened was Vince McMahon Sr. made a promise to put the belt on Bob Backlund because he wanted a clean-cut, all-American boy image. And little did he know that after Bruno said, called it quits, he said, that's enough. And he put the belt on Billy Graham. People started loving the heel, Billy Graham. He was a bad guy, but they loved to hate him. He was so great that Bob Backlund was boring as hell. He's boring as hell. Yeah, the Von Erichs had bad luck in their family, really bad luck. But anyway, it's time to go.
All right. Well, thanks for joining, and we had a good time, and everybody take care and have a good night.
Yes.
And well, that's it. So James has a lot of good, interesting wrestling knowledge. I don't know anything about it, but
yeah, that's why I'm saying it's so time consuming. It'll take up another show. Yeah, Gorilla Monsoon from upstate New York. He wasn't from Manchuria, but he has amateur wrestling background. So that's it. You have work tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I've been working a lot.
Really? Are they keeping people 6 feet apart?
No, but they're busy. All right. Well, Louisiana is very strict on paper.
On paper.
So anyway, all right. Well, y'all take care, folks. I thought James was going to give us some musical closeout, but he didn't. So, oh well. Y'all take care, and I was hoping to hear that bosun's whistle. We didn't get it. We didn't get the whistle 2 weeks in a row. But we'll get it back, maybe. All right, take care, y'all.